Divine greetings and gratitude. Welcome to the Saiyonan Archives. If you are new here, my name is Nuna. I am the seer, the poet, the witch, the writer, and the founder and keeper of the Saiyonan Archives and of the Saiyonan Etherium. Welcome to your new spiritual safe haven. And if you're returning, hey tribe, welcome back to our sacred space. I'm always honored, excited, and elated to be in your presence. As always, of course. Let's go ahead and get into a reading today. I decided that I wanted to do this reading a lot differently because I'm just simply divinely led to do this in this way. Typically, I do not deviate away from tarot. I usually use Oracle as an additional aspect to tarot readings. However, I'm going to strictly be utilizing Oracle cards today. For whatever reason, I'm feeling the need to make this reading a bit more light and a bit more easy on the spirit. I know that sometimes when I do readings, things do get a little intense, and sometimes they do get very, very, very deep, right? So I wanted to make sure that we leave room for balance, right? I want to make sure that we're balanced. And out of that balance, I want to ensure that I'm giving you things that can be easier to digest and easier on the spirit, because sometimes when we're doing these readings, again, they can be intense. And sometimes with that intensity, rigor comes. So to deviate away from the rigor and to allow ourselves to just simply be easy and just kind of have a breath of fresh air, I'm deciding to go this route. I'm going to be utilizing different oracle cards today. I'll make sure to link them down in the description box. That is assuming that they are all available still. I'll make sure to get that done. Also, a quick update. I am in the process of writing. I remember that there was a video that I was doing where there was like a tarot writing prompt. I do have a poem that was written. However, I'm going to go throughout the editing process. I'm just trying to figure out how to film it. You guys already know by now that with me having 4 children and, having a family, that sometimes things do get very busy, and that prevents me from being able to, I guess, film cinematically when I want to. So I'm just trying to figure out the best way to go about it. YouTube is very, very picky right now when it comes to the type of content that it's shooting out or sending out and things like that. People are wanting different things to keep them immersed, and so that's just kind of the way that the world is going right now in terms of content creation. Now, I do not fall into the traditional idea of a content creator. In fact, I'm doing the best that I can to stay out of all commercial activity unless the journey calls for it. Right now, I really am honestly depending on support via donations and things like that to help support my work. And when you support my work, you also support yourself. So if you want to go further, if you want to go deeper, if you want to work with me one-on-one and things like that, I do have options available on the Saiyonan devotions list. These are not the traditional commercialized, um, I don't know how to really say it, but let's just say that these are offerings and you give a set donation, and at that point we're able to work together. This ensures that I maintain spiritual integrity, and this makes sure that you get exactly what you need to help feed you spiritually. I don't have it in my heart to cheat anyone, so sometimes I may give a lot, which I usually do, and the reason is because I just simply don't want to half-ass anything. Like, I'm just not going to do that. I do have my own endeavors, which would be poetry. However, poetry is also a way that I serve you as well. So if you want to discover more about that and you want to support more of my work, I'll make sure to leave any links that you would need down in the description box, as well as in the comment section. I'll make sure to leave timestamps for this video so that it will be, for your convenience and whatnot. So let's go ahead and get into the reading. How are you doing and how are you feeling? What's been going on in your life? I feel like I have not spoken to you in a while. I don't really know what's going on, but I'm hoping that everything is okay. I feel like I truly do want to make a deep connection with my tribe. I really do just feel like depth is needed. Look at that. The first card to come out here is feelings. Okay, let's go ahead and I feel like I want to bring this a little bit closer. Okay, there we go. All right. So the first card that we have here is feelings, and let's go ahead and see what else we have. Thank you so much, Divine, for being here with us today. Thank you so much for waking us up this rising and helping us to see another day. This one does not want to show face right now, and that's fine. Thank you so much for allowing me to be the vessel that relays any messages that our soul tribe needs to hear. Thank you so much for protecting me as I immerse myself into this reading to give any messages that our soul tribe needs to hear. Thank you so much for protecting me as I immerse myself deep into my passion and my purpose of helping my community. Thank you so much for protecting the people that are listening to these messages right now, and may they receive everything that they need, and may they reserve what they do not need as a gift for someone else who may need it. Thank you so much for giving them the divine clarity that they need to help them with their day. Thank you so much for allowing this to serve as a daily message to help them. Okay. All right. And I'm already getting messages. Okay. It feels like the light is fluctuating. Divine, I trust you. Divine, I love you. Divine, we love you. We welcome in our ancestors, our spirit guides. Ooh. There's a lot of activity. Okay. Okay. No more from this deck. This space is protected. It is so. Okay, so the first card to come out was feelings. I'm going to read that card off to you. Okay, so what is going on with this? Okay, so these, I'm hearing the words, be easy. Be easy. Those are the words that's coming through right now. Be easy. And it's interesting that these cards are coming out right now because immediately what I get right now is that there's a need to kind of pull back from something because there's something that feels very overwhelming. What it really does feel like is that someone needs to take a break because someone is clearly feeling a lot. And sometimes when we are in situations where we can't see out, it can be very overwhelming because there's parts of us that want to control the situation out of fear that we're going to lose this relationship, lose this job, lose this person, lose this opportunity, or whatever it may be. And with that comes the idea that we sometimes attach ourselves unnecessarily to the outcome, and we attach ourselves unnecessarily to the people, the places, the things, because we feel some type of lack, or we feel this energy of not having, or this energy of limitation. It's so funny because what's coming through right now is Saturn. And I don't know if someone is having a really hard time with Saturn energy, or if they're having a really hard time with some type of limitation or some type of blockage or something dealing with them not being able to receive, or something being put on hold, right? That's kind of the energy that I'm getting. I also see that someone here has their energy deep into whatever the situation is, and it's preventing them from being able to see the higher perspective or the why behind what is going on and why it's happening. Does that make sense? So it almost kind of feels like someone, let's just say, for example, right? Let's just say that I'm going to use relationships because they're easily relatable, right? Let's just say, for example, if you're in this relationship with somebody and you're in a relationship with Cisco, right? We're just going to use that name. That's so funny. I don't know why Cisco was the name that came through, but just so that I can make the differentiation, I ain't talking about, Cisco. We're just using the name Cisco. Okay. So you're in a relationship with Cisco, and Cisco, this energy is everything that you could have ever hoped for, right? And you and Cisco end up bumping heads because there's something going on with differences of opinion, and you want to give your opinion, you want to give your love, you want to give all these things or whatever, right? Well, Cisco also feels the same way, but then Cisco also has a strong head just like you. Like both of y'all have strong heads, right? Or however many of you there are. And it causes a lot of friction. And with that does come the idea, what I'm hearing is that it's almost as easy for you to separate as it is for you to come together. But sometimes the coming together is what feels very impossible. And it's interesting because I feel like Spirit is saying to you now, and this is the direct transmission, what's happening now is that what they're saying is that you have to find the middle way, and you have to be able to see beyond your own feelings, because more than likely what you're doing is you're wanting to feel loved, you're wanting to feel safe, secure, all of those things, which are virtues of the human experience. And what your guides are saying is that you can't force Cisco, and Cisco can't force you to see it from their perspective or to see it from your perspective. If anything, pull back and find the common ground between you and the other person. And the reason this is imperative is because when you keep approaching things from a space of I want to be heard, I want to be felt, I want to be seen, you're not always operating from a higher standpoint. And with that can come a lot of issues that are preventable if you just were to listen and try to understand where the other person is coming from. Because when you're dealing with feelings, you're dealing with a lot of things that are very complex, and it can get complex real fast. So to prevent you from having to go through these hardships or this battle, what you can then do is step outside to see, okay, well, what is the higher perspective? What am I meant to see? Is this helping me step into my highest embodiment? Is this helping me to overcome something? Is this teaching me a lesson? Like, what is what is happening? But if you're in it and you're fighting, and you and Cisco are constantly fighting, you can't see anything, and all you can see is your own feelings. And that can prevent you from looking at every other possibility. Imagine if you decided to honor your feelings and to honor Cisco's feelings, and then Cisco honors their feelings and honors your feelings. Imagine what you can do when you come together and say, I still choose love anyway. Right? Because I allow love to be what guides me through the differences, and knowing that our differences are actually our strengths. Knowing that our differences is actually what can help bring us together. And knowing that our differences is actually what helps us stand out as individuals and honor each other's sovereignty here. Because one thing that they're saying is that they don't want you to do is jeopardize your sovereignty or your individuality or your independence. In fact, your sovereignty, your independence, and your individuality helps to bring you closer together, because you honor each other as singular souls, if that makes sense, that are coming from the same thread, that are coming from the same source. So when you honor the differences between you two, you honor the omnipotence of the universe. And what your guides are saying to you is that it's okay for you to honor the differences, right? Honor each other's feelings and understand that when you allow yourself to do it that way, also there's something about you not taking everything so personally and you being open to being a little bit more playful. Not everything needs to be so serious all the time. And that's the energy when it comes to Saturn, is that Saturn can be very serious, and he's the father of reality. He shows you where your limits are when it comes to reality. And if you cannot understand the truth about reality and the illusion, how are you going to be able to handle the possibilities that are open to you if you can't ground yourself, if you're not responsible with your power, if you're not responsible with what you have in front of you? Because if you want the world, right, but you're destructive, you would destroy the world. And so then there's this idea of you diving deep into if whether or not you have destructive qualities or not. And this is coming from a true, honest, like, I'm just being honest, and I can relate to this with you. This reading is not about me, but I do relate to this if this is someone that may be experiencing it. Sometimes we do go through these destructive episodes in our lives because we know that we may feel destructive, and sometimes that destructive energy can come out in the relationship unnecessarily, right? Because you know that there could be a breakdown going on in your life, but if you are misdirecting that energy, you can actually mess up the very things that you could be building. So if you feel that you're going through a destructive time in your life, this is one of those amazing moments where you can say, I decide that I don't want to destroy this, but what I will do is allow these things to be destroyed because these things are no longer needed. And I will allow these to be the ancient ruins that remind me of what happened in the past here, but I don't need to return to this because this is land and this is a space where someone else can come and view and learn lessons from. I don't need to learn this anymore, but I allow this to be the sacred footsteps. I just heard sacred footsteps. You have giraffe spirit here, see the big picture. So this again is pointing to seeing things from a higher perspective and looking at things from a higher point of view. I feel that okay, what am I hearing right now? That's so funny because what I'm hearing is I'm hearing my kids in the background, which they're loud. Well, they're kind of loud to me. Okay, let's flip this over. Wow, trust the great mystery well spirit. So you've got some real big energy here. You definitely do have some big energy and your energy can fill up a room real quick. Like that's very interesting. Open to infinite possibilities. This is pointing me to like the star card. Of course, it was right cliche. This is pointing me to the star card in tarot, open to infinite possibility. But this is also bringing me to vulnerability. And how can you be open to all of these different perspectives if you're not allowing yourself to be vulnerable? Let's read this card here. Emotions want to be felt. You really can't surrender something until you deeply feel it. Allow me, dear divine, to offer all emotions to you, feeling them fully so they no longer hold me captive. And that's the very thing that holds you back sometimes. It's like you feel so many of these things and you don't allow yourself room to play, to explore, to love on a higher level. And so I feel like there's this idea of detachment that's coming through with these cards. Doubt. Okay, you have doubt here. Offering all to the divine doesn't mean negativity never arises, but you can say, free me from this prison of doubt. I cast this burden to you. Show me your will and restore me to faith and confidence. I feel that with these two cards coming out with feelings and with doubt, it gives me the energy of, again, like we said earlier, it's like when you are in these situations and sometimes like you can't see a way out because there's like limitation, right? And with limitation, sometimes you do doubt. You're like, I don't know if we're going to make it past this. I don't know if we're going to get through this. I don't know if this is going to work. I don't know if this job is really for me. I don't know if this is truly my purpose. And it can help, not help you, but it can almost kind of cause you to be full of doubt because you're not sure which way to go, because with feelings comes intensity, it comes depth, and there's just this swarm of emotions and feelings and thoughts that can send you down the rabbit hole of negativity and doubt. And sometimes these doubts, like they want to be relevant. Like if we personify this energy, it would be, these thoughts will want to be relevant. And that's exactly what I feel sometimes keeps us away from experiencing the best things that we can possibly experience. So when you allow yourself to be playful, that's so funny. When you allow yourself to be playful, you say, I no longer want to allow myself to be in doubt, because when I'm playful, when I come with this playful energy, I don't doubt anything because everything's possible when I'm playing, and it's easier. It's just easier. I'm gonna pull a card also from this deck, the mushroom deck. So the other one that came out here is work. The other card. I'm now available to receive all who can benefit from my work. Use me to relieve suffering on the planet. May all who need me find me. The divine is my complete source for all prosperity and will to provide. Truth. When everything is done as an offering, even the act of speaking, you get shown when to talk and when to be silent. Your words come from silence, not fear. You do the talking, dear Lord. Take me over and speak through me. This is interesting. And then you have trust here. When love is invited to take over, right actions arise at the right time. Allow me, dear divine, to wait patiently until the timing is right. Let me rest in the known and the unknown until a clear path is shown. I feel like, again, this has a lot to do with detachment and knowing that this situation that you may be in, whether it be a relationship or whether it be a work situation or whatever it may be, right? It could be spiritual. Whatever this is you just simply allowing, because the process of allowing, or this idea of allowing, allows things to come into your life that you can use and implement in your purpose when you're out there in the world. You can take what you're learning from these relationships and from these situations and whatnot and apply them, because that there will be the antidote and the healing and the medicine that someone else may need. And this is how you know that you're truly connecting. When it says truth and trust here in work, I feel like this is one of those things where you're getting a reminder and reassurance that everything is working out, even if you can't see it yet. And if you don't know now, you will. If you don't know now, you will. You have yes, and you also have recovery. This is yes to recovery. Yes, it's time for you to start healing and allowing yourself to heal throughout these processes. But also remember that life is not always about healing. Sometimes life is about enjoying. Your guides are asking for you to enjoy your relationships more. Your guides are asking for you to enjoy yourself more. Your guides are asking for you to try to enjoy life more. Community, look at that. Violet coral. Community. And you already know what that means. Community. I feel like everything that you are going through now is going to help serve a greater purpose. Show up and share the things that you've been through. Not all of them. I mean, you want to leave something sacred, but this has a lot to do. It's tied to your purpose. This relationship is tied to your purpose. This thing that you're doing in your life is tied to your purpose. Whatever it is that you've got going on, it is tied to purpose. It's tied to spirituality, to healing, all of the above. It's not just meant to be personal. It's meant to fuel your purpose. That's what I'm hearing right now. Is there any other card, Spirit, that you... Okay, yes. And you also have Essence, Cordyceps. And I feel that with Essence here, it does come with this idea of... Can you see that? I hope so. With Cordyceps, this comes with this idea that when you are replenished, you can then pour more into the community. You can pour more into your community, and you can also pour more into yourself, your relationship, and things like that. But it does come with a form of healing, and it does come with replenishment. So what I feel that the replenishment looks like for you is play, is pulling back from the seriousness and taking a break when you need to. Also, one last thing that I will mention here, what I would work my magic around right now, if you're listening to this message, is replenishment, play, leisure, things like that, and just simply enjoying and pulling back from work for a little bit, if you will, and then get back to work, if you will. I would more than likely be working with the color orange. I'm seeing the color pink, and I'm seeing the color white, and I'm seeing the color blue and green. Actually, I'm seeing several colors. So this is bringing me to the rainbow, actually. So I feel like there's like, I just heard the words rainbow child. So you could be someone who's like a rainbow child, or you're drawn to rainbows, or you've been seeing rainbows, or the symbolism of a rainbow is coming through, where it's like, this is the promise that not all things will be filled with storms, but after the storm, there's light to be shown, and it's reflecting from the universe. So this storm is showing you, or it's acting as a beacon of... It's so interesting that I'm hearing that the storm is acting as a beacon of light, but the storm is what's acting as, or is the... What is the word I'm looking for? There's a word for that. The storm is acting as the teacher here. It's like the storm is showing you that even though these things may feel daunting and scary, and it may feel unfavorable, it doesn't mean that it will last always. It just means that it's coming temporarily, and after that you'll be able to see the rainbow, the miracle. And the miracle really is just what you believe did not have the potential to manifest. That was just simply your doubt. But if you open your mind, you'll see, okay, this and that are true. And it also means that there's something more positive to come of this situation. Thank you so much for tuning in and to listening to these messages. If this did help you, make sure that you leave a comment down in the comment section. Make sure that you like this video, subscribe to this YouTube channel. Also, make sure that you check the links down below, because those are where you can support me and my work and whatnot. I'm on Substack, Instagram, and all those places. Again, I'll make sure to link everything down below. Make sure that you click any link that will take you directly to the website so that we can work together personally. I would love for you to join the Saiyonan community. by subscribing, of course, and also the Saiyonan Circle in private. That way we can build our own private community and reap the benefits that come with joining the Saiyonan tribe. I love you guys. Take care, and I will catch you in my next video.